Everybody think Kuma is doing damage, but that's not actually what's killing your legion. And that is exactly why Kuma feels so broken in Call of Dragons, because when you fight him, it feels like your march is getting destroyed by some kind of massive damage nuke. But that's not really what is happening. What really is happening is much more dangerous, because Kuma is messing with your HP in a way that most players do not fully understand. And that's why so many people build against Kuma the wrong way. You think your defense should fix it? You think damage reduction should fix it? You think tank stats should fix it? And then you still get melted? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what is happening. I will explain how Kuma drains really work, why it feels unfair, how the hidden stack work, why your normal defense thinking fails against him, and the counter almost nobody talk about, which is one of the few ways to actually cut part of Kuma value. If you play infantry, or if you keep getting run over by infantry in open field, hit the like, because this is one of those Call of Dragons mechanics that can save you from wasting a lot of fights. Why you need to understand this? A lot of players see Kuma and think, okay, this hero is just doing some weird big damage. But if that is how you understand him, you're going to make a bad decision, because Kuma doesn't beat you the same way a normal burst hero beats you. He's not just dropping a clean damage number into your legion and hoping your stats are too weak to survive it. What he really is doing is changing the HP state of the fight. That's the key idea in this whole video. He's reducing your legion available HP, reducing nearly legion available HP, and then turn that into more survivability for himself. And once this happens, every follow-up hit after that become more dangerous. So if you're even fought Kuma and thought, why does my legion suddenly feel so squishy even though I built tanky? Well, this is why. This video is going to help you understand why Kuma feels unfair, why he become disgusting in crowded fights, why he pairs so well with HP based infantry pressure, and what you can actually do about it. The biggest misunderstanding with Kuma is this. When you normally get hit in Call of Dragons, you think about things like defense, damage reduction, skill mitigation, healing after the hit, maybe shield or sustain. That makes sense a hero that is trying to bow you up with normal damage. But Kuma is different. When Kuma uses Joy of Battle, the important part is not just something happened to my HP. The important part is that your legion HP get reduced. Nearly enemy legions also get reduced, and Kuma gets value back from that by increasing his own survivability. So this is not really just a normal damage exchange. This is a fight where Kuma is changing the terms of the fight itself. This is why he feel weird. This is why he feel unfair. And that's why so many players react to him incorrectly. Because if you think Kuma is just another damage dealer, then you're going to look in the wrong solution. Now, how Kuma draining really work? Now let's talk about the mechanic itself, because this is where Kuma start looking really oppressive. Kuma rage skill drains HP from the main target and also drain HP from the nearly enemy legions. Then Kuma legions get healing value back from that interaction. And that is where the problem begins, because in the real fight, this is not just one clean effect hitting one target. It becomes much more stronger in the kind of fights that actually happens in open field PvP. Multiple legions stacked together, long infantry bros, crowded frontline fights, repeated contact over time. This is where Kuma starts becoming disgusting, because now he's not just touching one target, now he is reducing the main target HP state, clipping nearly legions too, making your whole frontline easy to pressure, and making his own legion harder to kill. This means every follow-up hit after that becomes stronger in practice. Your legion feels easier to finish, your team feels less stable, your healing feels less impressive, and Kuma suddenly feels like he's getting way more value than one skill should give. This is why Kuma is so dangerous in real battlefield density. In a clean fight, he looks strong. In a messy crowded fight, he starts looking ridiculous. The hidden stacking mechanics. And this is part many players don't explain well. Kuma become much more oppressive because this effect is not just about one cast. It becomes dangerous because repeated applications keep pushing the fight further and further in his favor. That's the hidden part. If Kuma gets one clean rage cycle on you, that's already a pressure. But if he gets to stay in the fight, if he keeps cycling, if the fight stay messy, and if there is a multiple targets nearby, then now you're not fighting on equal HP terms anymore. That's a problem, because now you're dealing with legion that is being compressed over time, where Kuma keeps gaining more survivability and more value from the battlefield around him. And once that starts happening, the fight begin to snowball. That's why some players describe Kuma like he's impossible to trade into. It's not because he's secretly one-shotting you, it's because the longer the fight goes, the more the fight starts belonging to him. And this is why Kuma is one of those heroes that gets much stronger in real combat than he looks when you just read the skill once. On paper, you read it and think, okay, that sounds strong. In real PvP, you realize this hero is changing the entire HP math on the battlefield. Now, why Kuma gets worse with Bruise effect? Now let's make Kuma even more dangerous, because Kuma alone is already strong. But when you combine him with other HP pressure tools, the whole thing starts become really nasty. This is where heroes like Nika and Mogro become important examples. Nika applies Bruise, which reduces the max HP by 30%. Mogro also applies Bruise pressure and brings more debuff-based pressure into the fight. Now think about what that means. If Kuma already reducing your effective HP state, and then another hero is also reducing your max HP with Bruise, suddenly your legion is fighting with less room from every direction. That is why those interactions feel so oppressive, because the fight stops feeling normal. Your HP bar feels strange, your healing feels weaker, your survivability disappears faster than expected, and you start entering killing range much sooner. That doesn't not automatically mean that every Kuma Mart should run full Bruise synergy, but it doesn't explain why players feel so uncomfortable fighting him. Here is the easiest way to understand it. Kuma pressure the floor of your survivability. Bruise pressure the ceiling of your survivability. And when both ends start getting squeezed, the fight become miserable. That is the exact type of concept you will immediately understand. Now here's some strong pairing examples for Kuma. Kuma and Lei Kuan. If you want one really strong pairing example to understand why Kuma can feel so oppressive, look at Kuma and Lei Kuan. This is one of the best examples of HP based infantry pressure getting out of control. Kuma already give you the HP swing and survivability distortion. Then Lei Kuan brings more value because his infantry gets 25% HP from the marrow. His legion takes 25% less skill damage. He has chance to get even more HP through Death Glare. And his rage skill scales with the infantry HP bonus. So the longer that fight stay dirty, the more that pairing start feeling comfortable. That's what makes it scary. Kuma doesn't need to instantly kill you. He just needs to drag you into the kind of fights where your HP get compressed, his HP get inflated, and the whole match keep functioning well inside ugly sustained combat. That's where this pairing starts feeling disgusting. And that's exactly the kind of things you need to understand when some infantry marches feel impossible to trade into. Now, which pets help expand this beast? Since we're only using infantry pets in general, or maybe overall pets, let's keep it practical. The first one I want to mention is Strip Bear. Strip Bear is important because every time your legion is healed by hero skills, it gets Vigor, which give HP bonus for the first second. That make a lot of sense in the decision because Kuma already thrives in those sustained healing based infantry fights. So if you want to expand and why certain marches feel like they never die, Strip Bear is really good example of how healing can turn into even more HP value. A second one is obviously going to be Mosrock Owlroach. This pet is a very strong example of why HP based infantry fights get so ugly. Its skill give your legion more HP and punishes enemy that deals damage to you. So if you're expanding or you want to go with Kuma, Mosrock Owlroach fits perfectly. So we get the pairing, we get the pets, and I think we get very in deep with the Kuma and his HP crazy things that he's doing on the battlefield. So let's bring everything together. Kuma feels broken because most players misunderstanding what he's actually doing. He's not just another infantry hero throwing normal damage into your march. He's manipulating HP. He's shrinking your comfortable HP space, inflating his own survivability, and creates a fight where every follow-up hit becomes more valuable. That's why normal defense thinking often feels disappointing, and that's why he gets so nasty in the crowded fights. That's why he becomes even more oppressive when paired with other HP pressure too. And that is why the best answer is to not just build more tanks. The real answer is stop giving him free. Basically, don't be close to him. Don't stay in the ugly trades for long. Understand how the HP pressure snowballs and use dispel tools to cut off part of the value he gets from his mechanics. Once you understand that, Kuma stop feeling random. He still feels strong, he still feels oppressive, but now you understand exactly why. And that alone is a huge advantage. So now I want you to ask you this. Do you think Kuma is actually balanced once you understand how he is actually working, or do you think this hero is overtuned? write it in the comments below. And if this video helped you finally understand why your tanky march still get cooked by Kuma, hit like and subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of Call of Dragons hidden mechanics that can save your weeks of bad decision. I'm Burgas, thank you very much for going that far in this video. I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.